Alright, it looks like we're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Weekly WAYPN. I'm Karl.
And I'm Sunny.
AKA
Henry and Sangita.
Alright, shall we get to it? We got a lot to go through.
So please, if we go over your one very quickly, please don't be upset.
Yes, here.
There is so many tabs.
I will see if I can do one thing before we begin, because I took a...
Wow, the emulsifier really goes.
Yeah.
Stick blender.
Yeah, that is how many we've got to go through. We've got so many to go through. I don't think it registers on screen properly.
It needed time to load up each tab. Anyhow, we should probably get to it.
Yeah, alright. So, first up, we've got Kit Strong.
Yeah.
And I believe this is a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
No Discord this time round. As you've seen in the general chat, I've posted why we can't because
we need to zoom through today, guys.
Because we've got a lot to go through. Okay, so first up is Kit Strong. Could you read it out, please?
Okay, Seth continued, added some skin tones, blacked out the sword, and started doing a bit of highlighting on the clothes. And he's meant to be all white character, outfit-wise, is it, Kit?
I do believe so. We've got Kit there, so
I'm just waiting for him to tell us what's...
But in the meantime, we're gonna have to skip ahead because of how many we've got. All right. But yeah, once he's told us, we will go back. So next up, we've got RJ Warren and RJ...
Working on more them OSL.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, it's a white assassin.
Yeah,
okay.
No, I think he's looking pretty good. So we'll just go back for just a second. So I really like the highlights that he's done with the skin because he's pushed it super bright right here, if you can see on my screen.
Yeah.
I think that looks really good. I think that the whites need more differentiation though, currently, because when I look at them, it could be the exposure of the camera, but currently they're sort of blending together a bit. The only bit that we see is that tiny bit in the crevice of the shadow.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to photograph.
But
white.
to be, yes, that's what I was about to say. But to be fair,
fabulous.
So next up we've got RJ Warren with it, and I have to say that I think that his techniques come along pretty well. The only thing that I will say with it is I don't know whether this is true of actual light sources, but I noticed what there is a darkening next to the light source where it's not bright, if you understand what I'm saying.
Like an overlay kind of thing.
And I'm not sure whether that is realistic or not.
It's unfortunately not. There will be some of that, but it should not reach as far as it has. I think the current thing for improvement with these OSL experiments is to not go too far with
Hey Penguin.
Hey Penguin.
Keep going.
Yeah, with the lighting in terms of where it hits. So I think it just needs a bit more control there.
All right. I think that the light source of the yellow is absolutely fantastic. I love the pink. And I think that overall it's an excellent paint job, but we have to keep going.
Next we have James.
And I feel really bad for this because James's one is absolutely really outstanding. Can you please read out his posts and I'll go through them quickly.
About 2 hours work for the base layer done. Lots of highlights in my future, but I found myself doing clean paint work in a quicker time frame than I was expecting. Does anyone else feel like that? Feel like you improved in skill or ability at some point and did not realize? Yeah, that happens.
100%. Dude, it's all about building up that muscle memory because the difference between you now and you 12 months ago is just one thing. It's that muscle memory build-up.
And that's why taking pictures is so important, especially works in progress, because you will see that, even next week, you'll be like, whoa!
Yes, exactly. And the one thing that I really want to say about this is, well, I actually want to say a few things, but I'm going to try and just get it all down out quickly. So the thing that I think is really good about this one is the fact that it looks exactly like the character art.
It's very clean as well.
Yes,
I think you've improved
but
being more
not
clean.
Just that, I also love the way that he also does the show off of the full thing and he shows the pins.
Yeah.
Which I think is really important because if somebody goes, all right, I liked all of what he's done here, you can see where to start off with. And Larry's
he's used a blank background to take his
Yes, exactly. Also, Larry does that. I think that's really good. So next up, we've got some more done
from Kit. Yeah, and
so I do believe this is the finished product, right, Kit?
Footless though. I think the foot is meant to.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. Like the main thing is whether he achieved his goals.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to focus on. We have to focus on whether the person achieved their goals or not.
I think it's come out nice, but I think the only thing I would improve here is trying to increase the depth of the shirt that is underneath the coat. I know it's all white, but if you can somehow use an airbrush to just increase the depth in there to make it look like a shadowed, like a detachment, right? Because it's a shirt and then there's a jacket over top.
I don't think that you'd be able to do that with an airbrush at all right now. I do really like the base. I think the base has come up very nicely, but one of the things that I do take a look at is I think that you could go brighter with your highlights and you could go deeper with your shadows.
I would not advise that just because we don't know how it looks in real life.
This is true, but white is a very hard to deal with colors, so there is that. But I feel like Brandon Sanderson does not have pictures of his characters, because you notice that a lot of them are just one block color.
Who's Brandon Sanderson?
The person from which these miniatures are produced.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, they come from his book series. Oh. But yeah, I think that when I take a look at the white, I like it, but it's hard to tell.
Anyway, we should move on.
Yes, we must.
Kit's got another one coming. Saturday morning whip works begins on Shonai, the Parshendi shard bearer from Stormlight Archive.
It is very bright metal, very, very bright metal. And then he seems to be going over it with some speed paints to get some of the stuff up. But honestly, this is how you get things done.
Kit said, I'm pretty happy with the contrast in real life, but it's indeed tough to photograph.
It is really hard to. It is really hard to photograph white. We're not going to give you a hard time about that because, I have trouble with it. One of the white models that I did for a commission. When we photographed it, it was just this white blur, wasn't it?
Here's a tip, Kit. If you want to have more variation in white, try different off-white. So you can have cream base and then highlight to white, gray base, highlight to white. Like
what you were doing today with the fox?
Fox, exactly. Different types of quote-unquote whites. You could play around with that, and that'll help to create contrast when you have an all-white model.
This is how you get things done, guys. You go in and you go, Saturday, I'm going to get things done. You take a look at the people who are consistently painting on here. And why are they consistently painting? They put a bit of time aside and they're just like, all right, I do this, I do this, I do this.
And I think it's great that we have the review because the review also pushes people to try and get something out every week.
Yes.
That's great for motivation as well. So we will move along.
All right, next up.
We've got Navi, a little something different from my previous posts. I admit I haven't been consistent with my hobbying lately, but when I get inspired to pick up my paintbrushes, I get to work fast. The point that I haven't been able to take progress photos.
Look,
what is that, a little froggy?
Yeah, my favorite part about all of the Crocs to Go units, I'm glad G Doubles added 3 little frogs in the box. I would have been mad if they only gave us 1. So he gets to add all the little frogs in the thing.
I really like that little frog.
All right, I'll let you finish.
It's a bit long, so progress photos, just lock in.
Anyway, here's my Seraphon army. I'm quite happy. Also, let's go to here.
Okay, also the Croxigo is the first time I have properly based a mini. I used some sand texture acrylic medium, mixed with some brown paint, and added some tuft. I know it's not as crazy as other painters, but I feel like the ground basing translates decently overall. You only need 3 elements, don't worry about it. Yeah,
so when I take a look at this, the basing that he's got done up, I think that it's decent, right? It's given this depth, because see, they're coming out of the ground now rather than being on top of the ground, which is often the problem with a lot of tufts. You don't want tufts as big as this to be on top of the ground.
Yeah.
You want them coming out of the ground.
Yeah, so filling in the little glued area with sand.
Just exactly.
It look like it's come out,
and I think that it's come out well, but The one thing that I will say is if this is meant to sort of be a beachy sort of area, you want to do some dry brushing, but I think he might have taken pictures while this was still wet. Because I take a look at this here, see what I'm talking about on the frog
it's
picture?
Still wet,
yeah, and I think he got excited. I'm not going to blame him, but take some more pictures now that it's dry.
I wonder if he should do feathers, paint them different colors.
Definitely, he should paint them different colors: pink, purple, red.
Yeah.
So that they contrast against that. But we've got to keep going. I'm sorry, guys.
Next, we've got Kit once again. Ashana is getting closer. Need to do the base, touch up the gemstones, and maybe add some color to the eyes.
Well, one thing I'm glad about this Ashenai guy is that he's not all one block color. Because I think one of the things with all of these guys is, unfortunately, they're all these one block colors. I do think that, some differentiations with the steels. I think you got to start taking some artistic liberties, Kit, because unfortunately, these, like, the way they describe them, they're just...
Like Star Wars minis?
Like Star Wars minis at least have breakers, like the Stormtroopers have the black in between the whites. Like, you don't have any breakers here, it's just one solid mass. And I 100% the Kit's going for, what do you call that when it's accurate to the book?
Yeah, basically that.
Like historically accurate, shall we call it for the moment. But yeah, because I think if you want good looking minis, you're going to have to take some liberties.
Yeah, it's like you got steel armor, steel everything with the sword as well.
Except for the
cape and the helmet.
Yeah, and these are the parts that look the best, don't they? You take a look at this. That looks really good. I like that. I also really love the gemstone on the back here, how bright it is. It just draws your attention to it.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, some different colors for the scales or something, yeah.
Right.
I think Brandon has betrayed.
So the Eshonai is complete in the next one.
All right. Let's take a look. So I think he's done really well with the rocks, matching the rocks to the cape so that you've got something to look at here. But I think it's pretty much exactly what I said before.
Yeah, see the belt you can do something with it.
Do you, make the belt blue or something or anything. Because, you need some of that separator. Actually, no, blue wouldn't work because, it's too close to the steel, isn't it?
Unless it's like a straight paint on blue kind of thing. I think just doing Eshonai's belt a different color would help break it up. Yeah. Legit, even if you did it black. Yeah. Nah, like mines. Like mines. Okay. Yeah. Anyhow, should we...
Yeah, we should, but I think it's good. I really love the gemstone.
Yeah.
I really like the way you did the basing, but I hate how he's a solid block color.
Yeah, it actually makes him look a little incomplete, in fact.
Yeah, which you obviously put work into this.
So, alright, next from Kit is... It's 2 for 1 Saturday. Say hello to Delana Colin, the Blackthorn, An extremely quick paint job done using 99% dry brushing. The longest part of the process was waiting for the burnished red speed paint to dry so I could do a double chop whip fire giant. Need to black run the base once the
black rim.
That's how he said it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, once the speed paint dries. Yep.
He's probably auto-corrected. I think, once again, this guy needs some differentiations as well. Like, even if you can, make the pauldrons different colors, stuff like that, because he's just... blah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's also because the weapon is the same color as the armor.
Yeah, and I understand when he's just, a steel... guy in steel armor with a steel sword, what can you do?
You could make the hilt of it different color.
The hilt and the handle.
The braces on the hand.
Wrist. Yeah. All right. So next up, we've got Joseph. Would you like to read Joseph?
Okay.
So we got these guys finally finished up.
Jack, the dubious alchemist, and his cauldron cronies for God tier. 2 sets painted, one with green potions, one with purple. They tried to add too much detail their production and plastic just can't handle.
Yeah.
All those bugs, spiders, snakes, and that frog don't look right and were a pain to paint. Sorry, I need a burp. It doesn't come out. Okay, hopefully future models are designed within their limits. I have nothing left ready to paint now until my Kickstarter arrives, unless I start work on something I shouldn't rush. Problem is, I'm stuck in the rush mindset, as I want to get the Kickstarter painted and table ready ASAP. 2+ months of it, it'll be delivered any day now. It's messing with me.
Alright, so I want to take a look over these. I have to say, I completely agree with him because we worked on God tier models. And I think that he's...
I actually really liked the tier models.
Well, I think it's because your ones were... Sorry?
Bigger?
No, it's because they more fit within, like, the theme. So I had humanoid ones, and you had, like, these spirit thingies.
Yeah, like a little splashlings they were called.
Yeah, splashlings. And like your big guys like this rock guy.
Yeah.
And my guys were humanoid with soft plastic, and it was very difficult. But wow. I think that these guys have come out really well. I really like them. I have to say I just agree with Joseph. Like, I also, one thing that I want to point out before we move on, guys, if you want a lesson in basing, just take a look at Joseph, right? So let's take a look at these. So here on all of them, they do have elements on each of their bases. So we've got the cauldron, we've got the rocks, we've got so on and so forth, right? He just puts a little bit of sand around there, right? Some tufts, just some things to incorporate, right? None of what he adds clashes against what's going on. So take a look at this tuft here, right? Doesn't clash with the action of this guy dragging the thing. Take a look at this tuft here. It's out the back. It's not clashing with all of this stuff in the front, right? No tufts that are clashing here because you want the smoke. Now we take a look at the line of the smoke and we can see the tuft in the back. Okay, cool. Fine, whatever. But nothing clashes with the action. All right, guys. That's just a handy tip. Let's move on. Did I say a handy tip or a handy Tim?
I think a little bit of both. Chris Shaw. All right, basing question round 2. Another super fast painter kill team, 30-minute each average. So that's why the armor looks low effort. We'll preface this that I prefer very simple basing for kill team. What kind of colors would look good here? I was thinking either red Mars style basing to complement the bluish armor, or a relatively gray-brown low-key one to keep the eyes on the models. Probably won't use any tufts to make it seem like they are in non-wild environment, either a sand brown concrete factory or a dirty road. We'll do a full gallery of my entire process once.
Okay, I do believe he's done an update of this one, so I'm going to leave this post up until I see that update, and we're going to move on to the next one.
Ooh, I think, it's Paulie Wog. Hey, I haven't seen
him in a little while.
Like, forever. Hello, folks. With the winter layoff comes a return to painting mini. First picture shows a fire dragon from the old AEG miniatures game Legend of the Five Rings Clan War, painted back in 1998. Always wanted to repaint it, but just kept putting it off, and I felt my ability was not enough to redo this mini. Fast forward a few years, and the second photo is the result so far, done to touch-ups here and there, mainly around the head, but happy I finally sat down and worked on this. Hope you enjoy it and happy.
So first off, the first thing I want to say is the way that he's just done the dry brushing with the yellow is absolutely fantastic. See the way that he's got that gradation? Yeah. That's absolutely fantastic. I do think that the yellows come a bit stilted out here compared to on the scales.
Sorry, where again?
On his, like the...
Oh, is it too harsh?
Yeah, a little too harsh. Like, I think... Maybe if he could blend that out to a higher yellow. But
it might be difficult because of the way that the raised edges are.
Yeah.
I think like...
Do you think painting would be better?
No, like it might not be possible because of how overly dense the organic lines are. I think it's going to be hard to fix.
But, like, I absolutely love the lava base that he's done.
Oh, he's done a lava base.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, okay.
And I think the way that he's done this is simple but effective. Like, there's nothing too crazy. I do think what is crazy is he went from black whiskers to white whiskers.
That's more traditional because it's a Chinese dragon. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it looks good. I don't think that there's anything bad about it. But those are the areas where I'd look to improve. I think the claws look good. I think that they're a tiny bit yellow, but I think that's fine. I mean, that's the whole point of this whole dragon.
I do like the black lining in the mouth that he did for the previous one. Maybe he could over here into the new model.
Maybe, but let's move on.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. So this was one of the people who commented on the YouTube, and then he brought it over here to ask some questions. All right.
Hey,
would you like to read out?
New to the group, but have been painting for years. Just stumbled across the Understanding Color Harmonies video and noticed some interesting alignment with the Protect I was working on. I would love feedback on how I can more effectively leverage color harmonies or anything else if you have the time. My anchor color was green, and I used a split complementary harmony for the shadows, magenta and indigo. Then I used the analogous harmony for the highlights, chartreuse and jade. I remember this comment. I responded to that.
Did you?
Yeah. But it's good that he posted because then I can actually understand what he was going on about.
Yeah.
I tried to take pictures that showed off the full range of my color use. The captain to show off the colors, the warrior to illustrate something closer to finished product. I think the placement.
Yep, the placement.
Sorry, I just got a bit confused. The Primaris.
That's the more finished one. So let's focus on.
Okay, we'll just see what Captain Guy here.
Yep.
I think it's good. I think the area that he's chosen to create add the purples in the shadowing is quite nice.
Yeah, so all of his shadowing is correct. Like all of that's correct. The way that he's done all the purple shadowing, spot on, really great. I think looks absolutely fantastic. So when I take a look at it, my biggest question is, why is the cape the same color as the marine?
Yeah, so I'm a bit confused about his process. Like, how is he going to go about it? Like, how is he going to go about differentiating everything and like bringing up the highlights?
That's why he wanted to show off this marine here, because he said this is closer to the finished product. So I think once again your shadowing's pretty good, but if we get it on an angle like this, we don't actually see any of your shadowing, which I think is one of your biggest problems. So like take a look at this, right, and just imagine that, and just imagine how things have sort of gone right. Do you need your keyboard?
No, I don't. It just I literally
I saw.
Don't know what I clicked and it went to the top of the page.
I know.
Yeah.
So I would say that's the biggest thing. Other than that, like, it's obvious that he's doing salamanders and that sort of thing.
Is it salamanders?
Yeah.
Oh, I see the dinosaur. Okay.
All right.
I don't know how to improve it. My immediate thought is to somehow bring in oranges, but I wouldn't know where or what you would do with it.
Well, I think that the first thing is he'd have it in the shoulder pads.
Yeah?
Yeah, because that's
he's
salamander.
Following the template, because the new Primaris had the black on both sides.
Yeah, they got black on both sides, but why not just add the flames on before you put the black? You know, just like the old school Marines. We're actually doing a video on salamanders this week. It's out now.
Didn't we just post it?
Yeah, we posted it. It's out now. If you are a member, Scott, come and watch that video and you'll see that basically we say that the old design's better. I wish that we had more time for you this week, my dude, but unfortunately we've got a million things to get through. We're only 23 minutes in.
But if you really, really want a one-on-one consult, you can do that through our Ko-Fi. But other than that, today's just too many, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If not, we would talk more about it.
All right. Sorry, my dude. All right, next up, we got Kid Strong once again.
Taking a little break from Stormlight to finish up this ogre. I started ages ago, but never got around to finishing off. So
I think I've already given comments on this, right, Kit? Basically, I think what you need to do is really push these highlights. Unfortunately, Skin wants to go really, really, really high with your highlights, right? Mm-hmm. Like your shadow colors are going to barely be there and your highlights are going to be most of everything. And after that, I think that the biggest thing that you want to do is add some additional elements to this base. Currently, the base is a bit bleh because it's just some gravel.
And it also matches the skin of your ogre.
Yes. But I think the way that you can fix that is by using some pigment powder. But also, he really wants to be stomping through some like various things. Especially if what you can do is bust him off for a second and have him stomping on some flowers, because that will be classic ogre sort of thing, because I've done that with some of the marines that I've done, and I think it has a great effect. Let's see. I think it was elbows and the shoulders, so that was talking about the last one that we did last time. So let us move on. Thank you very much for your thing there, Kit. I hope that feedback has been helpful. All right, next up we've got Joseph Mallon.
Color selection advice wanted. This is Ophelia, a 3D print from Bella Nacht Minis. She's 75 millimeters, and I have yet to highlight the flesh. She's a gothic lady, and my mind jumps to Morticia Adam, etc. So my gut reaction is paint her black dress. I painted a similar themed lady 8 years ago at 28 mil, and her dress was painted coal black, very dark turquoise. See picture. I was going to repeat that, but I'm tempted to do something different, and I'm looking for opinions or alternatives. Here's my thoughts. 1. Coal black.
So I'm just gonna cut you off there, because he says purple dress, not purple, violet. Violet going into magenta, especially if you've got chimera colors. If you have chimera colors, you will see that violet is so dark that it's almost black. And like, you'll be able to work with that a lot, and I think it will really help complement the skin tones. I think that's a pretty good idea.
But I don't know what is her theme or her vibe. Is she like meant to be evil?
I think she's meant to be gothic, pin-up chick, essentially.
Okay, yeah, then definitely purple is a very sensual color. Go with that.
Yeah, well, violet, not purple. Slight difference. All right, next up,
we've got Andy. Sunday painting the Witch King of Angmar, which is the last. Cow. What was a video? I like your little display stand.
There is so many minis here. Look at them all.
Looks like a shop, man. What have you
been does doing? Look like a shop.
Kids say, yep, definitely helpful. I usually don't push the highlight far enough, because I just end up with a messy looking brush stroke or just highlights in all the wrong places.
You still got to push yourself, man. You still got to try to get that thing.
Yeah. It's comfort zones, you know? Like, if we don't push past the comfort zones, we'll never
I've been
be
pushing my comfort zones just recently in the past 2 days, because I've been trying to just smash things out rather than like get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, and I found myself making the same mistake that Karl usually makes with tabletop minis, which is spending a little too much time on it, and I normally am pretty fast with painting. So
what I want to say is that Green Dude looks amazing. I think that the color combinations is absolutely excellent, but the one thing that I want to say that you've done really well, Andy, is you have absolutely smashed it when it comes to painting out all of these models, and I am so glad that you included that video, because I think that is one of the necessary parts of things, celebrating those moments when you get everything done. Yeah. All right. I've got to stop hitting the table and move on to RJ Warren. So he's got a couple of updates. So
man, look at the non-metallic on this guy.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. The non-metallic metal is absolutely freaking insane. You need to give me lessons, because that non-metallic metal is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's like one of those competition level types.
But it's very interesting, because that's so pushed compared to some of the other stuff like the skin, because I know that he can do better skin than that, but I think like he's just trying to focus on one thing at a time. Maybe he will
push it a bit more later on.
Maybe you're right. This could very much just be whips. I think that they're very good looking models, but I think it is time for us to move on, as they are just whip, even as impressive as they are.
He has been posting like very subsequent changes.
Yes, he has, projects. And I think they look really great.
Oh, this one from Kit. Stormlight continues, taking advantage of the bit of downtime while the kids get ready for bed to start blocking in some of the colors on Risen.
Yeah.
Ricin. I don't know.
Let's move on. Yeah. So I think here's the one thing that we really should be focusing on with Kit when it comes to all of these things. Kit puts in the time where he can. You find the time where you can. Are you watching TV? Are you doing X? Are you doing Y? You have to find those moments.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Because if you don't find those moments, you will never find those moments. You are who you are all the time. Whoever you are.
At home, right now.
Yep. That is who you are. So
all the time. Like even at work. Even when you're with your friends. Even when you're doing other things. Habits are habits.
Yeah, like take a look. You will play all of the games the exact same way that you play them. All the time. Alright, so next up.
We skip over Monday.
I'm just going to read it out really quickly. It's Member Monday. # Member Monday. What makes a digital place? You, your comments, your likes, your posts, and the people you like. A digital place is a place you choose. You're not born to it. You don't travel through it. You must choose it. And... Sorry,
I'll read it.
No. Do not do that. Do not. I'm really happy for the place that we have made together, and I would like us to give a warm welcome to Scott Sear on behalf of all of WAYPN. We have just one question for you. Make a post about it. All right, next up, we've got Larry Hasenflu.
Oh, yay, Larry. No painting today, just
assembly.
But together some monsters, the free mini for this month. Some of the... I don't know what that is. And a new paint stand that I hope will make things easier for me.
Yep. And that's part of the process, but we've got to move on. And this is what I was talking about. So... Here we go. Here they are before, and if you can read it out, please.
Ended up going with the subtle brownie orange, which hopefully helps the armor stand out and not clash with the green or the fiery weapon colors. Some whip picks as well as uber speed pink. Yeah, it's classic. Yeah. Teal and orange or blue and orange, they're gonna work out great. Even green and orange will work out great. Mm-hmm. So, I think it contrasts. It
contrasts really well. The only thing I would do is, if you're going to make this your color, I would kick this dust up to about the shin height, because this indicates a very, very dusty area. Yeah. Right? That's the only thing that I would say on it. I do think that you could really push with these armors here, and I understand why you didn't, because holy heck, I have done the trims for these things and just about lost my mind.
And I can understand him not actually doing the trims for this one.
Yeah. So, I think that you made a really good choice, and like Sunny said, it's a classic. The different ones. All right, we have some people saying something is in the comments. Do we want to read them?
Alpha Legion looks good. That's what Penguin said.
Okay, so Ian, I am Wood says yo, and Kit says been very productive this. Penguin says Kit's been very productive. I actually did some painting between scenarios and Sundays.
Hegemonia session.
I do not know what that is.
Or agemonia, I don't know. Hegemonia, I don't know what that is either.
Okay, and Alpha Legion looks so good. All right, so let's move on. But yeah, Chris, I think you did great with this. Just one thing, just add some rocks to your base, right? Not a whole lot, just one or two here or there, and like that's about it. Because currently you've got the tufts, you just want one more element. See, this guy, the reason this guy works so much compared to the others is because he's just got that one rock there. It's not a lot. All right.
And Kit says...
Yes.
Ryzen is not an easy model to paint. Might set her aside and come back to it another time.
Dude, I totally understand that. Some of the times I have worked on models and I've just been like, all right, I'm putting my hands up. I'm calling it a day. I've had enough. I don't want to lose my freaking mind, so let's do something else.
The color choice has been excellent, though.
Yeah, the color choices are great, and you know what I like about this model? This model has definitive colors and differentiations, and it's a nice model to look at, you know, and this is what I'm talking about. So, like, Kit can obviously use all of the colors, do the things, have some differentiations, and so on. But when it comes to this, you know, I think that The historical accuracy has been hurting him. Alright, so next up we've got Split Shade.
Goal this year is to learn non-metallic metal. And the first thing I paint is a head. I are not done. Have decided if I want to just dot them or try something else too. No, this is the head. The first head I have painted to this kind of detail. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it looks good. So the only thing is, I think that you need to put a dot in those eyes. I like the little bit of non-metallic metal that you did on the back of the neck. I think that looks good. It's got a great sheen to it. I do think, however, you could push the highlights a bit with the mustache and the hair, but the eyes definitely need dots to them because at the moment it looks
white.
Yes,
I think there's
a bit more
blue,
crazed.
like a blue.
Yeah, there's a slight blue to it, but
yeah, it looks crazy.
Okay.
Crazy eyes.
Yes, but apparently the thing that Kit was talking about was a game. All right, some more whips from Kit Strong. I tell you
from RJ.
Sorry, yes, from RJ. RJ and Kit are doing
Blurring
lots of
together.
works. So is it just me, or does this guy look like some hair metal singer?
Probably.
It looks like he's from some sort of hair metal band.
He does look like singing.
Yes, he does. He's like, yeah! And he's just screaming
I
out.
feel the hair's a bit too close to the color of the skin right now.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at this and seeing what he's doing with the lighting.
I think this lighting's more effective.
I think this will be quite interesting. We'll take a look there.
I don't know why it's come so far out to the front when the light source is at the back.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think it's more meant to be on his thigh than on the back. Okay. So it's like slightly hitting the front.
Okay, I see from this angle.
Yeah.
It should not actually go as high up as that. Just
I'm not
the
sure
chain.
because we found a lot of the time that when you did that, like we've measured from a different angle and like it has hit the thing. But we must move on. All right. We're getting to manageable numbers now. All right. So next up, we got Talk Tuesday. And guys, if you want me to contact you each Tuesday and say, hey, have you been working on your stuff? So, well, Kit has definitely been working on his stuff. All right. So Kit says, my goal is to try and remain consistent. Absolute fail. No consistency. Definitely do not have the majority of the posts. All right, and Raven Tactica is one moment. I'm going to see if I can get these things up. Will you work with me? Okay, so Larry's working on the Stomper. Raven Tactica needs some more edge highlights for Drazha, and the Sonic Mage's hair needs to be done. John has been working with his Stargrave models. Yeah. James has been going hard with his Mass Effect stuff, and Joseph is now up to date, and Kit is not remaining consistent at all. All right, so great, we've done everything. All right, next up we have Larry, and Larry has just primed up some models, and it is part of the process, and we love seeing this, and I would like to say more. But we have to move on. It's part of the process, guys. Getting your models built, getting your models done is part of the process. Next up, we have Kit Strong.
Spending a little time trying to up my photography game. I'm fortunate to have a very nice lighting setup at my painting desk and knew better photos were possible. I also have a very cheap light box, but never feel the results are the best. So I laid out a backdrop and got to work. The big aha moment was when I tried moving the R9 lamp out of the way and just relying on the overhead LED panels. Running around 50% brightness at 5000K seems to give results quite similar to what I'm actually seeing.
Alright, so what is the name of that one on our thing? It's like...
How to...
Pictures?
Take...
Yeah, here we go. So, Kit, I am going to send... I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it in the Discord. And I'm going to @you. Okay. @Kit. Alright. That one is for you, buddy. Alright. So
but these photos are still very good.
They're good. They're good. But it's like the meme. They're good. But they could be better. Alright, so next up we have more Kid Strong.
Oh, okay. Book 4 minis primed. And I couldn't resist getting all the new shinies since I really like the silver and gold I've been using.
Well, it is always nice to have some new tools, but I've found that I have really enjoyed just sticking with some of the things which have been working for me. And the ones that have been working for me have been the Scale 75s and the Games Workshop Metallics.
I have yet to try the Vallejo ones that I've bought.
Yes, but we've yet to try a lot of things. Next up, we have...
Oh, yeah, it's Penguin.
And Penguin has finally done up his
my first
Stargrave crew that he's been wanting to do for a long time.
His first Stargrave crew is done, consisting of Scavenger 1 and Mercenary 1 sets. I went with a warm color palette, emphasizing the feeling of a desert world for a wasteland where they are currently operating, and I think he's done such a great job with them. Very clean. You can see all the different differentiators. I really love the basing.
Yes, I think that the basing is particularly good, but I'm surprised at how militaristic they seem for a Stargrave crew.
Though.
Yeah, that's true, but there's also this one guy here, right, who has the mace and the AK, and it just reminded me of this movie called Brain Dead, and there's this preacher. He comes around and does kung fu, and he goes, "I kick ass for the Lord." And when I saw that, I just...
He does have that face.
Yeah, he does have that same face as the guy that's in the...
I think it's feeling quite Star Wars-y, where the desert place where they come from. You're making noticeable improvement lately. Keep it up. This is from RJ.
Yeah. Well, look, yeah. I think that it's important when people encourage one another. So I just want to point out some things that I think that he's done really well. So all of the weapons, with the exception of these white ribbons here, which I think are a bit too bright, all of the weapons I think he's done well. I really like the...
I just realized this guy's got the camo pattern.
Yes. Can I say my things?
Yeah.
Now, so I really like the laser sights here and that sort of thing, but I do feel that the skin work is a bit behind. So here it's good, but even with the guy I like, right, and all the way that he's done the lenses and the goggles, I think's come up very nice. But when I take a look at some of the guys over here, I feel like the skin work is far behind everything else that he's done. And when I take a look at some other things, I don't know whether they're deliberate. So, for example, the white dots on this, I'm not sure what this is meant to show or represent. I think the basing is absolutely fantastic. And I think that the camo patterns have come up really well. But I do think that skin is definitely your weakest suit here, especially when we compare it to something like the guns where they feel very nicely done. And I think that's about all the time that we can spare on this one, right? I'm sorry, John. I would love to talk about that more, but next up, we've got Kit Strong.
A little time playing around with the airbrush, and this ridiculous bust. And I've had lying around for years. Came with the Revo Pop scanner I backed ages ago and never got around to using.
Revo Pop scanner?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So far, I'm not really a big fan of the AK EXO stuff, but I like the idea behind it.
Okay, so I don't know
what that is.
Well, it's obviously Caesar, but I don't know what he's trying to accomplish with the pink into yellow. Are you trying to do undertones?
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to do with some.
Because generally when you do an undertone with human skin, what you'll do is you'll go green into reds and then up to creams. That's as a general rule. So I'm not quite sure what you're trying out with this one, or is it gonna have?
If you use odd colors for undertones, it's more lighting based.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let us move on.
Oh, it's you.
Alright, it's time for everybody to mock me. Alright, it's Whip Wednesday. I'm painting up my commission. It's Big Bird. What are you painting now? You should make a post about it. And here he is. He's a bird, he's big, and he's Big Bird. I'm actually thinking that with the feet, based off the actual image, so I will quickly type that up over here. So, what is the name of Big Bird?
A lot of change.
Keratos Fate
Weaver.
There we are. Spelling is completely off, but if we go to the actual Games Workshop website, Kairos, whatever. I don't.
Apparent.
Here we go. I think this is where we get the best shot of his feet. Like they're different in different pictures. Are you telling me that you have different colored feet in different pictures? Alright, so
like a brownish color, yeah.
Yeah, they're like this sort of brownish color, but when we see the other ones, we see that they're quite red with the other one. So anyway, just tell us what you think of this one, where I should go with it. But yeah, I pushed it all the way up to like a very bright yellow because we want brighter colors, because we're trying for showcase level here, and that's about it. I love magentas underpainting for skin tones, RJ says. Alright, fair enough. Alright, but if you guys have any criticism, any critique, any of that sort of thing, please level it at me. Alright, next up we've got Larry.
Monsters Assemble. The Monster of Frankenstein, then Cantu, the Living Mummy, and Werewolf by Night. Mostly putting down base coats with a touch of shading. Purple for the monster's shirt, Arctic blue with the Pilar Glacier to make the deeper areas look colder. For the mummy, Mojave white with a dry brush of white sands, then covered in mummy white. Airbrushed everything on the werewolf, carbon black pants, chestnut brown ink for the fur. I was going to do a highlight with Scale 75, a red leather, but the color wasn't very different and couldn't see a real difference. So I stopped before going too far.
Alright, we're going to wrap this one up. But what I am going to say is I think that your marble effects came out great. I think that you've been doing really well with the monsters. And what I really do like about what Larry has done here is Larry has absolutely smashed it by showing his whole process here, by showing the various colors that he uses and so on. And I think that really does help. Obviously, this is a whip post and he's showing his process in detail. But I still think that it's really good that he does such things. Alright, next up we have Brian. And Brian's been looking for some different ways to store his paints because he's got too many paints to be on the go. So my suggestion would be either one of the old foam cases, which has each of the slots in it, using a tackle box, which is a fishing tackle box, or a toolbox. And that is what I would recommend. Kit has also given some good recommendations, and so has John Sanish. Alright, next up, after that, we have some more from Kit Strong. Would you like to read out, please?
Kicking off book 4 with Navani. Using the box art as reference, I kicked things off by spraying everything with dark violet, which works well for the dark color of the sleeves, pants, and part of the skirt, and will hopefully make a good universal shadow color for the other.
And what I'm looking forward to is seeing some variation, because I see her there in the background and it looks as if like there's a lot of different stuff there for her, which will be absolutely fantastic. So let us move on to the next one, which is him doing a bit of a whip on that one.
Comment. Okay, focusing on the skirt. I am doing a bit of experimenting with transparent mixing white. Titanium white is all the rage, but early tests makes me think transparent mixing white should get more love and should be part of the paint lines. I don't have an art background of any time and tend to just learn through experimentation. A bit of research leads me to understand that it is usually a zinc white instead of titanium, and if it changes the hue without as big an impact on value, and my tests on skirt reinforces this.
Well, I think that the skirt is looking very nice. I like how it's coming up, but it does lack a bit of color. But I do remember that seeing it on the back of the box, it was much more desaturated than the rest of her. So just try your best to go with what's on the box there, like, because that one actually seemed to have different colors.
Right.
And John Ross just said that his skin work was one of his weakest areas, was it?
Yeah.
And that he's working on it. And that's all you can do, man. Don't worry about trying to get super far really quick or anything like that. The only reason that we say these things is because we're trying to be honest. We're trying to help you guys improve at the level you guys are at. We're not trying to make you guys like
do things that you're not aiming for.
Yes. So
alright. So there's a cutie patootie. Carlos, the meat dragon from Flamecraft. Sadly, my photo booth was attacked by a ferocious beast. I think that's a cat.
yes.
So I'll have to make a new one. Aww. Worked very hard in highlights on the red skin and the belly. Not completely in love with the outcome, but I like how it looks. I like it.
I think that what he's done really well is the blue and purple shadowing. So it's very subtle. So we see it at the edge of the leg and so on, right? Really beautiful. Very, very smooth. I think that's one of the things that this whole miniature can be seen for. An extremely smooth miniature. I think that it's coming together really well. I think, like, I really love that timber decking. I love the blue of the mouth and how it contrasts so strongly with everything else. I love his tan belly.
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to say anything about our cute little fella?
It just looks just like something from a kid's cartoon, and I love it.
Yeah, no, I think this is absolutely spot on. There's nothing that I can see which I would want to improve if I was you. I think you are absolutely hitting the mark, Carlos. 100%. Absolutely killer, dude. All right.
Next, we got Kit once again. Not my most productive day, but I did get a good start on Navani.
Don't worry about not having your most productive day. The fact is that you keep hitting
something.
things.
Yeah.
You keep coming in and you keep hitting things again and again and again. That's the biggest thing. Don't be too harsh on yourself, because like that's when you're gonna start, going back a bit.
Going backwards, yeah. Oh, yeah. And here we have RJ working.
Well, hold up. I just wanted to have a quick commentary on this. I think that the leathers have come up really well. I do like the vibrancy of the top of the jacket, but I feel like you're losing some of the vibrancy as we go down near the skirt. I'd want to try and keep that vibrancy. I like the black, but I think it can be pushed a bit. And the skin, I think, can be pushed a bit also. All right, let's move on.
RJ says, working on a section of the Kingdom Dent Shadowboard. Man, the final product.
Oh, yeah, no. So, like, you see this and you're like, okay.
I thought that looked cool enough on
and then I looked at this and I'm like, oh, that's interesting what he's doing here. Interesting. Okay. And then once he does that and I'm like, whoa, wee wah. Because, wow. Just, wow, that looks absolutely intensely amazing. But he's doing it very different from how I might do it. So one of the things that I might do, because I've also got this board and I want to do that, is he's doing it black and I want to do it to be more brown and the sort of off-white that the faces are all the time.
Yeah.
So, but see how he's got the lanterns there? So, like, it'll be dark everywhere else until you hit the lantern area and then, like, lighten it up. But that's my plan. I'm talking about myself selfishly. But, yeah, like, I think it looks absolutely fantastic.
Sick, man.
Yes, fully sick, mate.
It looks
subwoofer.
like it's actually glowing.
Oh, yeah, it does. It's, if... like your whole glowing experiment was to get to this board, I think you've nailed it.
You nailed it 100%.
All right. Speaking of nailing it, next up,
John Gas.
Gas. Gotta give it the gas tonight.
Took y'all's advice about light diffusion and moving the lights away.
Yeah.
I think these pictures turned out better. I'm just using my phone for the pictures right now. Unfortunately, the dust on the cape is paint. And I'm still trying to figure out how to tone it down without repainting the whole cape. I've got about 10 days before the line gets submitted for a competition. Any advice is appreciated.
I don't think that we can give any advice right now beyond what we've already said.
We don't want to tell you what to do at this stage when it's very nice and done.
Yes.
And then, too many things spoils the soup.
Yes, I think one of the biggest problems when it comes to that sort of painting is you question yourself a lot when you get to this stage of the painting. And I think us adding to that, so I'd say just the things we've already said. So I'm going to say, try and get with the painting with the cape. That's why I like pigment powders, because pigment powders can be edited a lot more, and they fit their purpose better than paint, in my opinion. And you know what, guys? If you want to see a great example of community, just take a look at our chat room in here. Like the way that people are complimenting one another, and the Discord is absolutely fantastic. We would have loved to have the Discord chat on, but at the moment we just have so many, and now finally we're getting to a more productive stage where we can actually speak about things, not take breaths. All right, John, you're doing great. Don't shoot yourself in the foot going over the finish line. That's what I've got to say. Once you've done the competition, get some advice from those guys, come back, then we'll have a chat about it.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the photos are much better, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So, next up, we've got...
This is Larry.
Yes.
Finish the marble base for Werewolf by Night. Black marble with grey stone surrounding it. Couple of coats of gloss varnish on the marble, matte varnish everywhere. I didn't want the edging stone to distract from the marble, and I didn't want the base to distract from the Wolfman. So I kept it simple. Painted his pants simply enough. Fur got a wash of werewolf brown for the hairy bits to get in the recesses.
Very appropriate.
And did a controlled line of it in the deeper creases of the body. That was followed by dry brushing with a red or orange leather mix with then orange leather. So with crimson eyes dotted with fluorescent red. Not much was molded for teeth, so I did a bit of gray followed by black lips. For a tiny touch of black on the tips of the ears and black claws. I'm pleased with this one overall.
I think that it looks great. I love the pants. I think the pants are the big thing.
Very sporty.
I think that you do use a lot of fluoro maybe in places where you don't need to. I think that the base came up absolutely fantastic. I think that this is not the golden angle for this guy. I think he's meant to be taken...
I think the side angle is probably...
No. I think it's meant to be like from above at like 75-degree angle, like this way.
Oh, okay.
Know what I'm saying?
Not really, but...
So just imagine a triangle coming from this way, and then like you'd point the camera this way from above up there.
Oh, I do think that like it could use a bit more depth. So what do you think?
I do think that the fur could use some more...
That's the angle, right?
No, that's not the angle. I do think that this is very good, but I don't think it's the angle. I really like the pants, and I really like the base. But I do think that you're right, Sonny. I do think that like the browns could be pushed a lot more up to another level. But I feel like if you push too much, you might go too far. And John says that he is a big fan of the pigment powder. I'm a big fan of our community. All right, next up we've got Larry Hassenflu.
Take a cue from the review video last week. Put black on the rim and sealed them and calling them done.
Yeah.
Very happy with both, especially the Iron Fist figure. Put the UV lighted pics for more dramatic cue pompous music. Very, very.
Yeah, I tell you what, with that UV light pictures, I think that they look great. And like, yeah, look, see, just black rimming those things. Look how much more solid these things turn out. Like,
it's so
there's
cool.
like he has not added any extra paint to this, right? Just by adding that black rim to help us focus on the miniature itself, it looks absolutely fantastic. I look at this and I think to myself, yeah, no, this is perfect, absolutely perfect. And the other part of these sorts of things is just know that there's always going to be something you can improve. And when I say something's perfect, right, I'm talking about for you. I'm talking about meeting your goals, because the perfect is the enemy of the done, right?
I thought perfect was the enemy of the good.
It is the enemy of the good too, but it's also the enemy of the done, because art is never finished.
Yeah.
All right.
Righto.
Next up, we have
Tommy Miller. Ooh,
and Tommy Miller was from one of the live streams, and he wanted to show off some of the minis that he's done.
Hi all, I just wanted to introduce myself and share a photo that I took.
So I think that this World War II one looks a lot better than the I think these are clone troopers of some kind or stormtroopers of some kind.
Are they Talon Desert people?
No, I think they're Star Wars people, judging based off the stuff that they have, but I can't say for sure. But definitely show us off your works in progress and such, and I will look forward to seeing your new pictures soon, my dude. Come in, show us what you're working on, and tell us what you need help with.
Next, we've got
Kid Strong.
In an effort to meet my goal of doing at least a bit of painting every day, I squeezed in a quick session before game night starts and began blocking colors for Adeline Colin. The deep gray is a really dark blue, so I'm giving that a go as the shadow.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that that's good, and I think once again, see, here's the thing that we see, right? We see that every single time Kit is putting in just a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. And that is how you get your models done. Take a look at what Joseph does. Take a look at what Warren does, right? If you want to get your models done, how do you do it? You do it a bit at a time, right? You don't have this sudden burst of energy and then suddenly something the size of the greater demon gets done, right? You don't have this sudden burst of energy and all of a sudden you have 32 animals done, right? You have to put the time in. You've got to find that time.
It's all about putting your effort into small little things and then delivering the final blow.
Yeah.
As top.
Or you pay someone else to do them.
Yeah.
Which is me, and then I have to find the time.
Andy started this evening one of 3 Nightshade sisters, which make up a mini of kind of a mini diorama. Need to pick a color for the boots, and everything needs highlighting and shading, but I have made a start.
I think just either black boots or violet boots, but black boots is probably...
Black boots would be great.
Yeah. But
just like that black Templar contrast, really.
Oh man, I love black Templar contrast for doing blacks after a Zenithal. They just always seem to work out. Yeah. But this is a very weird and interesting model, isn't it?
Yeah, just the eyes.
Also, the expression, she's sort of like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, like a Toto, we are not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, she seems to be like, I did not expect to be here tonight. But I do like the purples. I think we could have a bit more saturation with the purples, though. I think that would be really nice.
To bring up the highlights.
All right, and finally, we're ending off with RJ Warren. Now, there might be some other stuff that we've got, but we're going to push that on to next week because we have been trying to get through everything, and this will be our last one. I think we had like over 50.
It's actually just 2 more.
Nah, we will.
All right, so getting some more color on this one.
Mm-hmm.
The color is definitely on there, my dude.
Yes, and the reason why we have to finish is because we got to do some recording tonight. We got to get even more work done. We are running out of time, folks, before our February
deadline.
Yeah, but so I think that the colors are coming off absolutely fantastic. I think that light glow of the smoke. I think one of the things that he's trying out here is different intensities of things. So that, for example, we take a look here, we see none of the green, even though it's almost next to it, compared to the orange, because it overpowers the green. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's what Warren's trying out here, some different levels of intensity. You follow what I'm saying?
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's coming up. I think it's really interesting, and I really like the subtle effect of the green. But what are your thoughts, Sunny?
I think some of the thing is that with some of the models there's like multiple light sources, and there's nothing wrong with multiple light sources, but it's just that the smoke is the light source here as well, and it's clashing a bit with the lantern.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to like figure out how to do different types of light sources. He can tell us in the comments, but just give us your opinion on how it looks.
I think it looks consistent to what he's been doing so far.
Yes, it does look consistent to what he's been doing so far.
I just want to see more at this point. And I do think for this one, the lighting is in the right places. It's not too much. So yeah, I think you're definitely going the right direction.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you soon. But for the members, I'm gonna have us come on to the lounge. We can have a chat about things for maybe 15-20 minutes, and then we're going to have to be off. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Next week.
Next week. Next week is still next time.
Yeah.
All right, you know how it goes.
Yes.
Keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye. All right. Now I press the end stream button.